Oh, yeah, I've been there before.
The transmission in that one.
And so it was,
Wheel
The
there?
front wheel bearing was bad.
I don't know.
The strut broke.
Uh,
On the other one.
Oh, dear.
We got that fixed, so it's
Oh,
really.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
and I
But
said,
the truck needs
Hades
probably a new
Village.
transmission.
I think it's village.
I
Anyway,
think it'll just be refurbished, but I have to go in
what
there and look at
play
it.
that is, that one that can, a couple of Tony Awards and stuff.
I
So I
don't know.
think it's done.
But they
Right now. Is it? Well,
so.
anyway.
I mean, you'll transmission,
Whoa,
so
was
not a
that
down
something?
sentence.
This is Eurydice and Orpheus.
Oh,
And,
oh my gosh. that's
And
right.
so anyway, the stage opened up and they went to hell. I mean, it was,
Figuratively, okay.
it was, and my grandsons, my teenage grandsons wanted to see that. That's the one they wanted to see. So we saw it. And it was downtown. That'd be good. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
That'll be like Power of Dog kind of.
Ashley.
And they'll just say.
There's kind
You're going to get violent.
Stephen,
So-
okay?
You know,
He
I
is. He
thought it
isn't
was
here
too
because
late.
we have some
Oh, I
construction.
didn't. I kept saying, who's gonna
We have
be careful?
construction going on in the house and we have
When
two workmen there today. And so he just, he said he might zoom in, but you know, it's,
Flowers.
Yes.
Can't see us.
I like any of these.
Oh, no.
yeah, he's okay though.
They became really.
These
close.
beautiful tray of
Really?
Yeah.
Aussie things were created by
It
Chris
was,
Carter.
it was gradual, but anyway, then you finally got them. I can't, unless you want me to, I can't.
Well,
tell
maybe
you.
I'll watch the rest of it.
I'll
Oh,
end
good
it.
morning. How are you? I do good. I sneaked in right.
They
before
just
you.
sent
Yes,
this
you
to me.
did.
Can you tell who that is? That's me.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. A few years ago.
Yeah, about 68 years ago.
We'll get started. I'm just waiting for everybody to calm down.
I
here.
know we're all kind of crazy
I
today,
know,
aren't we?
it's, I don't know.
We're all,
Because the weather.
I know, I got so excited. The sun was shining. I'm like, oh, it's warm. And then I look and I'm like 22 degrees feels like 11. That's
You know,
crazy.
because, we got with that these warm spells we've had, we
Yeah.
started to get used to that. And now going back to 22 is,
I turned
little
the
bit
heater off one day. We
tough.
have like.
Yeah.
Um,
well, good morning, everyone.
yeah.
Good morning
So
on
it takes
Zoom and
forever.
good to see you, Edna and Beth and Laura and our friends on YouTube who may be seeing this at another time. We have a very special guest this morning, Matthew Adicula. And I always like to point out that he has just in Matthew with one T. He makes jokes about that sometimes, but you can tell. So Matthew is a friend of St. Mark's for many years, going way back. He has preached and assisted with worship in the past, and I hoped he would come to talk about himself and about maybe a little bit about India, which is fascinating, and we're just so fortunate that you are here with us. So thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
We usually start by just going around. People get to say their name and whatever else they want to add. If they don't want to add anything else, that's fine. But why don't we start with those on Zoom? Laura?
Sorry, hi, I'm Laura. I punch all the buttons behind the scenes.
Laura
And-
hosts Zoom calls and things.
Yeah. Sorry. And I will spotlight Beth
Hello, I'm Beth.
and I will spotlight Edna.
I hope to be there next time.
All right. Well, we're glad you're here with us on Zoom. Great to see you. Let's see. Let's go around this. Let's start with Kevin.
I'm Kevin. Nice to meet you.
Ashley.
I'm Joyce and I'm a little crazy today because we have major construction going on in our house. And so my husband David couldn't be here because he decided to stay home with the work people.
I was looking forward to see him.
I know, he might come on the Zoom, but we'll find out.
Matthew Idicula, Matthew with one T.
And then there's Dick Mylander.
I'm Dick Minder. I've been here in this church 57 years.
Wow.
Nice to meet him.
I'm Sue Mylander.
Wonderful to see you, Matthew. Lois Sheridan, nice to meet you.
Diane Dins. I remember Matthew,
Oh, yeah.
a dear person.
And Diane is just back from New York City.
Don't I look different? Do I
You
look
did
more
you
exotic
you
now?
painted the town red.
I think New
At
York, I
least.
think New York is different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it is, definitely.
you've
That
been
had
there
a big
now.
impact.
Mhm.
And I'm George Smith, and again, back to Matthew and take it away.
I don't want to waste any more time. These things are definitely important, dear brothers and sisters in Christ. I'm very happy to be with you. First of all, I want to thank God Almighty, and I call him always King George for inviting me. My name is Matthew Idikula. I live in a western suburb. I lived there for the last 50 years. 50. Many of you may remember me. I was here at St. Mark even before Father George came, and then while I was here with Sheila, he took in charge of his congregation. That time, if I recall, it was a difficult time, and I had lots of assignment, doing that, doing this, had a morning service, and so on and so forth. When I come to St. Mark and step into the parking lot, I always remember the things I did early morning coming here, doing the worship service and all that. Since then, I served at St. Columba Episcopal Church, Hanover's Park as a rector for a few years back, exactly 2-3 years back, just before coming this COVID season. I thought I should take a break and maybe travel a little bit all over the world with my wife, which I didn't do, a lot. And unfortunately, after I took the official retirement, COVID came in and shut down all of us. These days, I'm mainly a supply priest, having different ministries all over the diocese and even with the Church of South India once in a while. I just get back from India, and I'm also you want to say something? You can interrupt me at any time if you have a question or two. We do not have that much time. I can't see, and so please interrupt me, and I'll be answering a little bit. I'm also serving as the convener of South Asian ministry of Episcopal Church, EAM. That in my territory include India, Pakistan, and all that places. And I get to travel once in a while, a little bit, that region, even the other Asian countries. I was at South Korea, Taiwan, and other places a little bit. I did my theological studies at a little bit to know about me at LSTC, and a doctoral degree in culture, and have written 3 books simultaneously. One book is very instrumental for today's talk. Sorry, there goes my 1 minute. Captive of Culture. It talks about lots about India and Indian Christianity and culture altogether. Yes, last year I published a biography of one of the professors, one of my gurus, and it was well taken in Indian people, and unfortunately this is in Indian language. This is a land of Jesus. These books are actually marketing by ISPCK LA. That's I want to stop right there about me. I have an elder son, I should mention him. I have 3 sons and 1 wife. My son had a terrible accident 38 years ago. He was very instrumental for me to go back to theological studies. And please keep me in your prayers. During this London season, let me begin this adult study with a gospel reading. And I'll go very fast. All authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. A few more words, but I will stop with that. You all are familiar with this passage. In this portion, we heard Jesus' glory of the final promise. He says 3 things here mainly. First, he assured us, his disciple, and all of us, his power, who he is. And then he gave them a commission. He sent them out to the world to make disciples. Go therefore and make all nations my disciples. The commission of Jesus to his disciple to win all people for him. He wants his disciples to win all nations. White, black, rich, poor, male and female. Third, he promised them his presence with them. Always, Jesus' presence is with us. Wherever we are, whatever we are doing, will we receive him in our house, in our fellowship, in our family, in our church? That's a different thing. But Jesus is always with us. Never forget, Jesus promised us that I am with you throughout all days and all night, all winter and all summer, until the end of the world. With that, let me see that. Let me stop that portion. We almost covered 10 pages of my notes. That's good. Let me come to the point of Indian Christianity. I don't know how I will touch Indian Christianity within this 40 minutes or so, but I can give you a little outline of Indian Christianity. I'm good at skipping and going very fast. We look at an Indian Christianity very briefly, where Jesus' disciple, one of the Jesus' disciples, Saint Thomas, was believed to be the first missionary in India. How many of you know that? Saint Thomas, way back in AD 52, Saint Thomas, we call him Doubting Thomas, but from his life we know that if he's sure and certain, no one could deter from his determination, his mission. Christianity was introduced to the Indian subcontinent by Thomas, the apostle, who is said to have sailed to the Malabar region in 52, not very far from where I was born, very close, next stage, a few 100 miles, that's it. Saint Thomas traveled to India. That during his mission, he was stoned to death, was martyred in South India. Today, there is a church and a small memorial in his name in South India. And I get to visit that place a few times in the past. There is another historical thing connected to India also. The authenticity and the real thing we do not know, but this is the belief of the people there. As per Western church tradition, coincides with Saint Thomas Christian tradition. It is believed that Gasper of India was one of the 3 biblical magi astrologers from the east that went to Bethlehem to pay homage to the newborn Jesus. Imagine. I do not have any special format for today's study. As I said, I will go very fast from here, there, and there. Our main topic for today is Christianity in India. Before we get to Indian Christianity, we should briefly look at Asian religion in general and a few facts about Indian culture. Without knowing Indian culture and Indian geography, it is very hard to imagine Indian Christianity. I want to draw a picture of India.
Move this a little
That's
bit
okay.
closer, just so that,
Probably that's fine.
I want to make sure people can hear. Can see.
I don't take any time.
Does that pen have enough juice in it?
That's all. This is India. This is Pakistan. Bangladesh. Burma. Uzbek. And this is the place I was born. And this is the place St. Thomas came in, somewhere here, I say. Well, probably close to the sea. Ship. You got to have some idea about India. It is a fact that origin of all important religions are in Asia. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, all have its origin in Asia. Jesus Christ also was born in Asia. Statistically, Asia has the least Christian population in the world today. Imagine. Asia has only about 8.5% of the world Christian population. Since its origin in Asia, Christianity came to Asian countries by land and by sea. It is generally believed that Christianity in India dated back to the 1st century. Here you can see these are our seas. We have Bengal, Indian Ocean, Indian Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, and Sri Lanka, this part. So India is surrounded by sea. So Christianity naturally came, St. Thomas came from there, from here to there.
Can I just make sure everybody can see? Can you just step back for a second? So you can kind of tell this is the India. All right. And this is Kerala there, right?
Right, this is Kerala.
Okay.
St. Thomas came somewhere there, there. This is the route he came from.
By boat.
By boat.
Or a long swim.
Geographically, India has only 1/3 of the size of United States of America. Only 1/3 of the size. At the same time, India has about 4 times of our population. 4 times. Our population is almost 334 million. India has 1.4 billion population. India today is a very diverse country with more than 1.4 billion people. India with different culture, language, and religion has world's 2nd largest population. Statistically, out of 7.9 billion people in the world, more than 1.4 billion are in India. According to the latest census, Christians are only 2.3% in India, in all total Indian population, only 2.3. Some say that the statistics are a little bit showing the number of India lower for some reason. Some people may be afraid of reveal themselves what their religion is, but nevertheless, that's official statistics. Large majority of Indians are still Hindus. Christianity is far behind, only the third largest religion in India. About 1/5 of the world population is in India, where the size of India is only 2.4% of the world. Hope you get some idea about the Indian statistics and geography. For 90% of the people in India are religious. That's very important, maybe a little bit more. They worship some form of God or goddess in that matter. Even though that number is declining in recent times, India has a strong religious population. Worship some form of God daily, weekly. Hindus goes to their temple every day. Muslims worship their God, and Christians in that case, we wait for Sunday to come to church and worship, see God only Sundays. India is a country with many religions, and the origin of many religions also in India. With all its economical and technological advancement, there are many problems facing India today. Two of the main problems are population and wealth distribution. It is about right statistics. 90% of the Indian wealth controlled by 10% of the people, and the 10% of India's wealth is with the other people, vice versa. That's a bad statistics. That's a big problem. Caste and culture is another problem. People born and brought up there for years, and they do not want to change a bit. This is the way we were, and this is the way we're going to be. That type of attitude for everything.
Did you say the caste?
Caste
System.
Caste system.
And
I mean-
is that at all changing?
It is
modern India?
not changing very much.
Ah.
Caste system is not changing very much. I may say a little bit about the caste system when I go. Caste system is a unique part of Indian society and culture. Its roots came from ancient India, in which people were divided according to their work. Origin of the caste system is from India's major religion, Hinduism. Caste system is basically a division of society in which mainly there are 4 castes: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyavas, and Sudras. Brahmins are generally priests, Hindu priests. They do priestly work. They are the higher class. Priests. Then Kshatriyas, they are fighters, soldiers. They fight for their country. And Vaishyava and Sudras, they do all the lowest class of work. They are the workers in the country. Below them are so many outcasts. They divided the people according to their convenience. According to people, they want to enjoy the society. They want to keep a level, and still the sad part of it still continuing. It's not changing very much even in the 21st century. Indian society still hold one of the oldest forms of caste oppression. Most of the Christian converts in India are from Dalits. Dalits are one of the lowest class of people, the workers, Dalit people. In order to know Indian religion, we must understand at least a little about Indian culture. Indian culture is among the world's oldest, as the people of India can track their civilization back as far as 4,500 years ago. And one of the oldest civilization in the world is Indian, Chinese, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. When you study history, you will study those things. One of the main reason, ancient times, Indian families followed joint family system. One of the main reason was their economic survival. So the families lived together. Great-grandfather, they is still alive, then grandfather, then father, children, and great-grandchildren. So they enjoy everything in their house. It is a personal protection. It's their livelihood. So the money share each, I mean, not always sharing the food and everything always will be provided by the family head. Even today, many follow that tradition, the joint family system.
So is that, that they live with the man's family or, you know?
They will have a dad, a great old grandfather, and that grandfather's children, of course, after a while he will die, you remember. So his children will be there, all his children will be there, and
But-
their wives will be coming there.
So the women go with the men,
Women
yeah,
goes-
so it's the
Well,
man's father that
I should correct,
it's patriarchal.
right, I should correct it. It's not right. Old times, the man goes with the women's house.
Huh.
That's also changing now a little bit. The Hindu custom, man's supposed to go to women's house. So
Yeah.
that's why women are have given some superiority, something in that respect.
Hmm.
Sometimes when we think of India, we see there is no freedom for women in India. It's not true. In India, it's a country. There are so many political leaders. Indira Gandhi, you all remember,
Right.
she was a powerful lady in the world.
Yeah.
In many circles in Indian politics, there were many strong ladies. And I remember that. I remember that one time back in 2007, I took Bishop Parsal and wife to India.
Hmm.
And she personally told me that Indian women, with all their due respect, I like this system because I like this system because those of you know Bishop Parsal's wife, she was Nancy. She was a very strong lady. Her own opinion for everything and all that thing. With that, she told me personally that she likes the system and women always talk a little bit behind men and all those things. They were very shy, and in spite of all those things, there were some great leaders from Indian politics.
None of us can imagine women
No,
who speak out, can we?
Because of our culture, we were born up like that. We were like that, you know. Indian civilization, we should know that Indian civilization as one of the oldest civilization in the world. Over the years, India was occupied by many foreign countries, and their influences are felt all over India. Europeans, all Europeans credited to unite India, and many of Indian progresses in the industrial level and other levels in the country. Indian states, there are 28 states in India. Each state is divided by geographical boundaries of hills and valleys. Each state, they speak more than one language. At least one language, each state, each of the 20 states. There is reasons for that. Old times, these states were divided by hills and valleys, and there were no contact with one state to other states. As travel was not possible because hills and valleys. One state, people are living here, maybe after, maybe in 25 miles or so, other states, but there is no contact between there, no travel convenience or telephone convenience, nothing those days. So in all practical purpose, India is made up of 28 countries of different culture, language, manners, and food habits. Everything was different in 25 miles apart. It is also a fact that even after 2000 years of Christianity in India, Christianity still did not reach the interior of India. Is Christianity is focused still in the coastal areas.
I've always heard of South India being more Christian.
That's true. Very true. Where I came from, South India, being there are most of the Christians are in this part. And especially this area, or about 20%, I'll go to it if the time permits. 20% are here, almost 18% of the Christians are here, because European missionaries also come from all over the world. They settle down in these parts. They establish schools and hospitals and Christian missions, and especially this part. In the interior, they couldn't go. There is one reason is the influence of Hindu religion. Hindu religion. There are mission works going on still these areas. There are so much difficulties also to reach them, even from the government. Travel within India is very difficult, especially during the ancient times. So each state, I told you that India has a vast coastal area from Bombay to Calcutta, these areas. So people could travel to India. Please.
I just wanted to let you know, since you were hoping David would make it, he did come on Zoom. So I just.
Hi, David.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, how are you? I was, thank you.
Matthew, does the caste system the same in each of those states? Is the
Each
caste
state,
system
yes.
exists
India,
in each of
Hinduism,
those states?
wherever the Hinduism is, there is caste system.
Okay.
So it's everywhere there is.
But is Hinduism in every state, or
Every
there's some
state.
states where there's no Hinduism?
There is no such thing like every state there are Hindus.
Okay.
All religion. India, in Kerala, I said probably 40% are Hindus. In there is some hilly states there are more Christians. These areas, and other than that, all over India, there are Hindus and caste systems.
And I've heard that Islam is growing a lot in India. Is that coming
Islam-
more from Pakistan area?
Islam, no, Islam's from there all over. No, not too many Muslims are coming from Pakistan. India has the third largest Muslim population in the world, third largest, next to Indonesia and Pakistan. Pakistan, India are the statistically very close Islamic population. Even though Pakistan is an Islamic country, there are so many Muslims also settled down, most of them Hyderabad, some in Kerala. There is a large number of Muslim population. This area there are Muslims.
Is that relatively recent that there's been so many Muslims?
No,
or-
it's
or is
been
that-
there
that-
from partition. India and Pakistan was one country until the
Oh.
partition in 1947.
So,
Right.
Okay.
so the understanding is that many Muslims went to Pakistan,
Pakistan,
but not all of them, obviously.
not.
So is there this tension though, like the
India and
Muslims who are there in India, really, is there a persecution, or do they have?
Those in India,
In
no,
India.
no. India is a secular country and there is not much persecution because the Islamic Muslims number is much higher than Christians. Christians make up of 2% but Islam make up of around 14-15%. So they resist very well. Indian Islamic people are generally moderate people, generally nice, unlike the Pakistan. Pakistan follow a pattern of violence and Islamic violence and all that. India, it's not possible because of the democratic system, and people are generally adaptable in Indian culture. Okay. Yeah, good thing. You ask right away questions, that way we can say something.
The Christians in India, they are Roman Catholic, what denomination?
I will come to that a little bit. If I get time, it's all in the thing I'm going to too much. Yeah, I will tell you, give you some statistics. Around 80% of Indians are Hindus, 14.2% are Muslims, 2.3 are Christians, 1.762% are others. That is the statistics. 80% versus 2.3 or even 3. There are many variations of Hinduism in India. About 13% of Indians are Muslims. I told you, make it one of the largest Islamic nation in the world. Yeah, next to Pakistan, but Pakistan has 231 million, and India has 212. That's about the statistics, very close between Pakistan and India. Indian Christians, there is a general consensus that Christian community were firmly established off the coast of Kerala by the 6th century, even after St. Thomas. The first Indian Christians were Eastern Christian who worshipped in Syriac. They were generally known as Syro Malangara Christians.
To lose weight and you're over 25.
Christian culture, which include Christian, they include some Jewish population, Christianized Jewish population settled down in India way before St. Thomas. Jewish people came to, they also probably came by sea, settled down there because they see Kerala, India is a prosperous country, so they were benefiting out of the trade. Following the discovery of Cape Route to the east by the Portuguese, Vasco da Gama, in the 15th century, Western Christians like Latin Christian, Protestants from the churches in the cities of Portuguese, Goa, Daman, and British Bombay, and other places in the coastal areas. Between the time of Christ and the 16th century, the wave of imperialism, rise and decline moved across Asia, contributed to the rise of European Christian missions in India, Portuguese, Dutch, then at last the British people came. The first wave was Catholic, 1600 to 1800, and later by Protestants. They occupied mainly the coastal area of India, established churches and schools, and worked for social economic progress in India. Apart from St. Thomas Christian, most of the Indian Christians were Protestant Christian. That was mainly due to the European occupation and European mission. To a large extent, European mission was credited for social reforms, Western education, roads, railways, and other things in India. It is also very important to note that early on, Indian Christians also were very active in Indian independence movement. Even European missionaries encouraged Christians to keep their cultural identity. Indian culture, Indian worship and culture, even Anglican worship, there is some form of cultural thing involved in it. In the women, usually wear a tali, that's part of their wedding, instead of the ring. Well, there is a ring. In addition to the ring, they wear a tali. The men go there, take that tali in their neck. You might have seen it, some of you at least. That came from Hinduism. That strictly came from Hinduism. There is no connection between Christianity and tali and other habits of India. There are many, many of these such things still followed by Christians. Christian missionaries follows even after a while, I maybe get to it. Some of them strictly followed Indian culture in their outward behavior, dress and eating habit, and even religious services in order to attract local Christians to Christianity. I'm talking about the European missionaries. They wear Indian dress, Indian saris, Indian temple. They use temple for worshiping Christian as a Christian church in order to attract local people to get along with it and make them understand that we are all one and come to us and things. Some of them I have studied that they had a difficult time walking around with the chapels and all that in the India because they want to identify the locals as one of the local people. And like I said, the title of my book, and there are a few chapters describes all about Indian Christianity and some of these behaviors. Okay, before independence from British in 47, in various times, India was occupied by various ethnical groups. One of the main advantage of British rule in India was they unite the country from local rulers. There are so many locals there. In Glen Allen, there was a ruler, a king, emperor. Then there was another one near Hinsdale, Downers Grove King, things like that. King George, One of the main advantage of British rule, like I said, was to unite the country from local rulers. India is the largest democracy in the world, still very strong and stable. That is very important. One factor holding India today is the democratic system. No matter what, after independence, never challenge the Indian system of government and the rulers. Something I say about the population of New Delhi and all that. I'm going to skip those, and I'm going to say about the Anglican Church in India. British influence credited for the presence of Anglican churches in India. In 1947, after India became independent from England, Protestant churches under the banner of Methodist, Congregation, Presbyterian, and Anglican came together and formed the Church of South India. All the Protestant churches said, enough is enough. We cannot fight each other anymore. We need to evangelize India all over, especially Indian people. That's our mission. Go out to the world, spread my gospel. That is what Jesus said. So they formed Church of South India. Anglicans was predominant in it with episcopacy and all that. Now, mostly the customs and everything in the Church of South India observed by the Anglican Church. Church of South India, now known as the Anglican Church and part of all the Anglican Communion and all that. So officially, Church of South India is the Anglican Church in India. It was the first time that such a reunion taken place in the world. During the time, many hailed it as one of the miracles, second miracle after Pentecost and all that. Such things, unfortunately, never materialized. They were thinking of it's going to happen all over the place, all over the world church union. Even ecumenism, it is very difficult now. And you can imagine church union taking place in United States and other Western countries. Every corner we see, unfortunately, a church with no people in it. It is very sad. Our Christians are still like that. We are fighting each other. We are not thinking about the future. The message of Christ is gone. I'll stop it right there. The Hindu population in India is 80%, Muslims 13%. I told you that. Although there are 24 million Christians in India, they make up of only 2% of the Indian population. Christian population in India are mainly in the coastal areas, said all that. Vast majority of Christians in the northeast area belong to tribal communities. There are Christians there. So there are strong Christian presence there. Among all Indian Christians, only 0.4% of adults are Hindu converts from Christianity. Only 0.4% are converts. There is a large population, Indian world population here. Only very few are Christians. Still there need to be lots of conversions and mission activities. Conversion is a contagious issue in India. 9 states have already enacted law against religious conversion. Although there are many missionary movements in India, conversions are very few. There are rules against the conversion now. Christian converts in India are disproportionately located in the south, while some are also located in the east. There is no denominational majority among Indian Christians, while many Christians identify that Catholic populations in India, 37%. Diversity of other denominations at present in India, 13% Indian Christians are Baptist, 7% identified as a North CNI Church, Church of North India. They called it Anglican Church in this part. Church of South India is only here. CSI is only there, Anglican Church. Next to Catholic, Anglican Christians known as Church of South India are the second largest denomination in India, second largest denomination. When Europeans left India, they left out so much of properties there to the Anglican Church. Churches, they inherit a lot of lands, a lot of big buildings in India, especially in large cities. Indian Christians are also very religious. Nearly all Indian Christians, 98% say they believe in some kind of God. So a substantial share of Indian Christians follow religious practices and beliefs not traditionally associated with Christianity, because from the Indian culture, there are so much of influence came into Christianity also. Strictly, there are so much of superstitions and all things, especially for the wedding and all that. They look for certain time for the wedding. That all came from the Hindu culture. There are so many of such practices there in Indian Christianity. Culture and cultural practices in India have a major influence in the life of Indian Christians. Many Indian, regardless of their denomination, read Bible regularly. Many Hindus read Bible regularly. There was a quote there once, somebody said, Pakwala, a famous lawyer in India, said that Christianity is good. No, this is Christianity is not good. Indian Christianity, the Christianity people now following is not really Christianity. And this is what it is. Christianity we follow now is not really Christianity, because the Christianity Jesus preached is still yet to come in this world. In other words, we all are corrupt Christians. We are not following Jesus Christ. So there are many Hindus read Bible regularly. There is a story about Gandhiji. Gandhiji, you know the father of the nations, you call it. He was independent leader of the independence movement in India. He once said, I want to be a Christian. I looked at the surrounding area. I've seen so many churches and so many divisions. I disappointed it and decided to stay as a Hindu and die as a Hindu. So those are some things besides it. Kerala, the southern state of India, has one of the largest Christian population in India. They make up of about 20% of Kerala population. The tradition of Saint Thomas Christian relate to the arrival of Saint Thomas, one of the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ in 52. It is also possible for Aramaic speaking Jews from Galilee to make a trip to Kerala in the first century. I told you about that. Even before the time of Christ, there were Jewish presence in Kerala. And recently they went back. Recently, I say probably in 50 years or so. When I visited Jerusalem, this is my book about the Jerusalem, in the land of Jesus. I was shopping somewhere there, and some people came in speaking in Kerala language, Malayalam, and I asked him his origin and all that. He said he was settled out here a long time back. Recently, when all the Jewish people in the world moved to Israel, he was one among them. So they are back to there.
Matthew, can I just see if anybody on Zoom has a question at this point, just for you?
Yes.
Just to pause, Edna or
No,
Beth or David?
I'm just listening.
Yeah, no, that's good. I just want to check in on you guys, make sure you're okay.
We're good.
I was going so fast. I want to cover as much as I
So
hope you all understand.
We have a few minutes before we have to say goodbye to the Zoom people, so I just wanted to make sure
Thank you.
if they have any questions.
Today, state of Kerala has one of the largest Indian Christian population according to 2011 Indian census. 6 million Christians somewhere in Kerala make up various denominations. 40% are Syro Malabar Catholic Church, Catholics. 7.6% are Syro Malangara, they are also Catholics. 13.2% Latin Catholic, they are also Catholic. 8% Malangara Orthodox Syrian, Orthodox people, Eastern Orthodox, their presence is largely felt in Kerala. So Catholic, Orthodox, different denominations of Orthodox. So a large number of those are Catholics, 40 plus population. Chaldea Syrian Church, then comes to the Anglican, Baptist, the Christians, and so on and so forth.
So what percentage are Anglican or Church of South India in Kerala?
Kerala's churches, 4.5% of Kerala population.
Is Anglican,
Anglican.
5%.
5%.
Oh,
5% in Church of South India, people are Anglicans in Kerala.
Okay, it's smaller. I thought it was.
No,
bigger
no,
than
it
that.
is
there-
2.3% are only Christian. 40% are Catholics.
Okay.
Remember, Christians are a large Catholics population. All over South India, Kerala, even though Church of South India made up of all South India. So a large number of Anglicans are here, there.
Sure. Right.
So that's
But in Kerala itself,
Kerala itself,
only 4%.
only 4
of the
5,
Christians.
only 5%.
Okay.
Matthew,
No,
did you grow up, you grew up in,
Kerala,
did you grow up in a Christian?
Christian
Um,
environment. Yeah, my parents, grandparents, traditionally it's believed that Saint Thomas, when Saint Thomas came, certain families he converted. Our family is one of them. Our great parents.
So do you feel that your family is Christian for 2,000 years?
Few thousand years.
Your family?
My family particularly.
Huh.
That tradition goes few
Wow,
thousand years.
okay,
Yeah, but
interesting.
there are minority there,
Mhm.
but there are churches there. I grew up in church property. I mean,
Mhm,
practically the church schools, church inside church,
mhm.
outside church, played at church playgrounds.
Mhm.
I came here when I was 19. Until then, I have lots of memories of Kerala and church life. Well. The St. Thomas Christians, I said that Orthodox mission work is still continuing in many parts of India, especially in rural areas. Schools, hospitals, and other institutions established by Christian missionaries are the only hope for education. Hospital one time. Right now, there are so much of schools and hospitals. Government started so many institutions, but there was one time, once upon a time, probably 50 years ago, Christian missionaries take initiative to start schools especially and hospitals and so on. Indian Christianity is in a critical time. Can we take 5 more minutes?
You have one minute for Zoom.
Yeah, you can
Because
stay,
you can
we
stay
will
here,
be here longer.
But if you
but
want
we
to,
have
if you
to
want to
shut
add
off
a
them.
parting comment to the
Okay.
Zoom people, that would be
Indian
good.
Christianity is in a critical time, so much problems. Problem from the government, problems of conversions, problems of other things. Even we cannot send money from outside in institutions' name at all.
Oh.
There are so much restriction. With that, I will probably stop. I hope you all understand me because I was going very fast in my thing. I want to cover as much as time possible. Thank you once again for
So,
listening me and giving me this.
so we'll stay here for a little while longer
Yeah.
and maybe some more questions, but thank you on Zoom.
Thank you.
And,
It was very
give
interesting.
some
Thank you.
applause for being with
Thank you,
us.
thank you. I love you all. I love you all. Fletcher, please, thank you. I
Thank you,
haven't
Laura.
seen you for a long time.
Thank you for sharing your faith.
What's that again?
She said, thank you for
Thank-
sharing your.